Welcome to our channel, Wise Flow. What if I told you that the secret to speaking fluent English isn't hidden in grammar books or long vocabulary lists? What if it's in a 5-line story about a boy with a balloon? Stay with me, because this video might just change how you learn English forever. One short story a day can transform your confidence, build your speaking fluency, and make English feel like your second skin, even if today you don't understand a single word. By the end of this video, you'll not only believe that, you'll feel it. Comment below, what's your favorite short story in any language? Let's begin. Chapter 1. The first story that changed everything. I remember the first time I held an English storybook. It was colorful. On the cover, there was a boy holding a red balloon. It looked like a happy book, but when I opened it, the happiness faded. The words stared at me like strangers. They weren't just foreign, they felt impossible. I read the first sentence. The boy has a balloon. But it didn't make sense. Has? Balloon? I felt completely lost. I closed the book. My heart felt heavy, like I had already failed. But somewhere deep inside, something whispered, "Try again." So I opened the book again. I didn't rush this time. I studied the picture, a smiling boy holding a big red balloon. I returned to the sentence. The boy has a balloon. I pointed at each word with my finger. I said it slowly, out loud. The boy has a balloon. And then I guessed. Could balloon mean the red thing in his hand? Could has mean that he owns it? Yes, it made sense. I smiled. That moment lit a small spark in me. It was my first English guess, and it was correct. From there, I turned the page. More pictures, more sentences. The balloon is red. Again I used the picture, and again it made sense. That day, I only read one page. Just one. But that one page gave me more courage than any grammar lesson ever could. I ran to my mom and said, "I read something in English." She smiled. I felt strong, proud, like I had unlocked a secret, and I wanted more. It wasn't just about understanding a sentence. It was about understanding myself, that I could begin, even with fear in my chest and confusion in my head. That story, the one with the boy and the balloon, became more than a page. It became a promise. Chapter 2. Small Stories, Big Power. I didn't begin with novels. I didn't jump into newspapers or long dialogues. I started small, very small. A short story, 5 sentences. Tom has a cat. The cat is black. The cat sits on a mat. Tom pets the cat. The cat purrs. That's it. That was the story. And I read it 10 times. Why? Because every time it felt like I understood something new. At first, I just knew Tom and cat. Then I learned mat, pets, and purrs. Not from a dictionary, from the story. And with each new line, I wasn't just learning English. I was feeling successful. That feeling kept me going. These stories were like vitamins, tiny daily doses of confidence. They made me smile. They made me believe I could speak one day. That's the power of short stories. They don't overwhelm you. They welcome you. They invite you in, like an old friend saying, "Come sit. Listen. You belong here." Chapter 3. How stories teach you. Words without pain. Language learners often ask, how do I remember words? And my answer is simple. Live them. That's what stories let you do. You don't learn the word shining by writing it 10 times. You learn it when the story says, the sun is shining. You see the bright sky, a child wearing sunglasses. And you guess, you feel, you experience the world. It's the same with sad. She is sad, the story says. You see her frown, her downcast eyes, her slow walk. Now, sad has a picture, a mood, an emotion. You don't just remember it, you own it. I kept a notebook, not of random words, but of words from stories. The boy is tired. I wrote it down. Then I made my own. I am tired. I learned cold from a story about snow, jump from a frog, clean, a messy room. Every word had a home, a memory, and I never forgot them. Stories are the safest, kindest, most human dictionary you'll ever meet. Chapter 4. Reading with your voice and finger. At first, I read with my eyes only, but I would lose track, forget what I just read, feel disconnected, until one day my teacher said, "Read with your finger. Read with your voice." I was confused. Why? Because your body helps your brain, she said, so I tried it. This is the dog? I pointed at each word. I said them aloud, and it felt different. Better? My eyes stayed focused. My voice made the words stick. I could feel the words on my tongue. I could hear them in my ears. Suddenly, I wasn't just reading. I was living the language. Even now I read like that, in my room, on the bus, at night, slowly, out loud, with my finger. It helps. It always helps. Chapter 5. Speaking, what you read. It's one thing to read a story. It's another to say it out loud, like you mean it. I used to whisper the words, almost like I was afraid of them. But one day I challenged myself. What if I say it like I'm telling someone the story? I sat in front of a mirror and began, "Tom has a cat?" I watched my mouth move. "The cat is black." I looked into my own eyes. At first it felt silly, like acting. But then it felt powerful. I wasn't just reading, I was performing English. I added feeling. I paused. I raised my eyebrows. I smiled. And suddenly the sentences were no longer practice. They were mine. Try this. Take any short story. Read it out loud like you're telling it to your best friend. Speak slowly, with emotion, with pauses, with laughter. This builds confidence. It teaches rhythm. It makes you remember the story, and it prepares you for real conversations. Because when you talk to someone in English, that's exactly what you're doing, sharing a story. Chapter 6. Making mistakes in safety. Here's something no one tells you. The best place to make mistakes is inside a story. When I mispronounced purrs, no one laughed. When I said the cat sits on the mat instead of sits, the page didn't yell at me. Stories are kind teachers. They let you fail quietly, then try again. That freedom changed me. I repeated sentences again and again, sometimes wrong, but each time a little better. The cat jumped. The cat jumps. There, that sounded right, and now I know it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to practice in peace. Short stories gave me that peace, and slowly my mistakes become lessons. Not wounds, no shame, just steps. Chapter 7. The Confidence Curve. One day I read an entire story out loud, with no help. It had 10 sentences. It took me 5 minutes. But when I finished, I stood up and clapped for myself. I didn't care how silly that looked. I felt proud. That's the curve of confidence. It starts at 0, dips into fear, then slowly rises with every page. Every tiny win adds a brick to your foundation, and suddenly you're standing tall. Not fluent yet, but fearless. That's even more important, because fearless learners always become fluent. Chapter 8. Turning Stories into Conversations. One day my friend asked, "What are you reading?" I smiled. A story about a cat. And just like that, we were talking in English. I told her the story. Tom has a cat. It sits on a mat. It purrs when he pets it. She laughed. That's cute. I laughed too. I didn't realize it then, but that moment was big. I had used a story as a bridge to connection, to confidence, to real conversation. And since then, I've done it over and over, telling stories, sharing moments, practicing English in a way that felt human. That's what you can do too. Short stories aren't just lessons. They're doorways. Step through them. Chapter 9. Writing your own. After months of reading stories, I decided to write my own. It was simple. A girl has a dog. The dog barks. They run in the park. But it was mine. I used the words I had learned. I used the rhythm I had practiced. And I told a story, my story. Writing gives you power. It helps you remember. It helps you speak with more certainty. So here's your challenge. After watching this video, write your own 5-line story in the comments. Keep it simple. Use words you know. Make it yours. And share it. Because the moment you create with English, you become a real user of the language, not a learner, a storyteller. Chapter 10. Your Journey, One Page at a Time. I want to leave you with this. Learning English isn't a race. It's not about how fast you finish the book. It's about how deeply you live each page. One story a day, one sentence at a time. One smile when you finally understand a word you didn't know yesterday. That's the journey, and you're already on it. Keep going. Your fluency doesn't begin when you speak perfectly. It begins the moment you believe you can. And you can. I believe in you. Now it's your turn. Write your own 5-line story in the comments below. Use simple English. Make it personal. Let your story live. If this video helped you feel more confident, please like it. It tells the algorithm and me that you want more videos like this. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more powerful, personal English stories and lessons. And remember, you don't need perfect grammar to speak. You just need a story to share. You've got this. Thank you for watching and reading. See you in the next story.